Well, hello everyone. Today we're going to be working on my poncho. Let's see if we can raise this up just a little bit. Well, from time to time I'll be sitting on this couch. So yeah, so today I'm going to be working on a poncho that I want to do fringe work on it because right now for sure looks okay. I'll go and throw it on so that way you guys can see what it looks like. There we go. So, it's meant to be just something that you throw over, and I'm gonna make it all fancy, of course, because right now, it doesn't look like much. It looked worse when it just had a square as well. So, yeah, we're gonna be adding fringe to this, so that way it looks nicer. And then we got Steve. I always call him Drunk Steve, just because this guy is always falling over and rolling all over the place. This is the first time he's actually stayed put. Let's see, and there's also that fancy hat that we were working on before. But yeah, so I'm gonna go grab a pencil, a measuring stick, and another measuring stick. So this one, you can see that there's that line right there in the boy. There's a cross right there. So the measurement is actually goes from one. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then it goes and does the same on the other side. This way, you can be able to measure out spacing in between things. And then I have just a Warhammer 40K measuring stick that will help me for my inches. All right. So I've been trying to figure out this is sort of the angling of it. So fringe, for anyone that doesn't know, is when you have leather like this and you make small cuts up the leather, and then they will have like flow. It flows better than when it sits all whole. So I've been trying to debate on how to do this. Now, I use pen on some of them, and you're not really supposed to use pen, but I'm an orc, so I just throw it together kind of thing. But pen is it stays in there permanently. A pencil, it's harder to see. It stays for a bit long, but you can sort of rub it away, kind of thing. Okay. Sort of hard to do it like this, but at the same time, I sort of need to see how it's going to be folding. Also, should I curve in that more or just fringe it all the way through? The thing about fringing is you can't save that chunk piece, but at the same time, you can be able to cut it easier, kind of thing. Just snip it off if you really don't like it. Now I'm probably going to make these a little bit longer, but we'll see how it goes. I want to see about lining it up first and then going from there. Now, having big fringe, it's bigger and chunkier kind of thing, but we can always cut those in half and make them uh, more spaced out. I'm thinking slight curves. That way, it's not very noticeable, but it's still it's over time you are getting through and you know getting it to the right angle. Well, I might put it on the table. We're gonna have a little bit of a. Let's see. It's gonna be a little bit of movement for the camera here. Stripping. And let's see if this works. But it is upside down. There. If we simply just go upside down, then everything's right side up. Pretty sure that's how things work, isn't it? Now I gotta get this thing to sit right. Oh, come on. Sorry, guys. Almost there. There. Ta-da! Now we can do it a little bit better. I'm always trying to do everything the hard way, but we can simply just make things easier. Just measure up those lines. Then I can do this. Yeah, I can even do the other side. Yep. Let's see. Okay, we're good. We're good. And we'll start straightening it off at this point. Oh, look at that. It's basically every half an inch that I was doing. I hope you're all having a good day so far as you're watching this. And I hope you've done something memorable, at least. Always try to make your day something worth something. That sort of spooked me a little bit. It was my ruler. Oh, hello! Hello to the person I joined. We're working on fringe work today on my poncho. It's a little bit big for the whole thing to see. But it was on a mannequin a little bit earlier on the video. Basically, I'm just trying to make it all fancy-like. Because everything's got to be fancy. And look at that. I think that looks pretty good already. Now, time for the bend that sort of what I've been planning / thinking about all day today has been trying to, like I sort of did it with that one, so it's not going as badly as I thought. But if I want to make any of these longer, like inwards, I'm going to have to plan ahead a little bit. I'm going to have to move a few more things on my table. Okay. Leatherworking. All the issues. Mainly me. Just a cluttered person. So since we're doing 1/2 inch for the fringe work, we'll put on the fringe or the inch side. And re-tag these lines because I was off. And I'm making this one a little bit smaller so that way the corner doesn't look as bad. And if you guys ever have any questions or anything like that, always feel free to put comment on them, because I'd love to be able to answer any questions I could be able to answer at least. You can also tell stories too if needs be or wanted. I've done many things in my life. I'm just trying to think of one to be able to say while working. So this one time, I met my Jarl the first time at a LARP, which is live action role playing for anyone that doesn't know what a LARP is. Basically, you get some foam swords, you pretend you're some knight kind of thing or whatever you want, and you play a persona. So my Jarl, he was playing some kind of bard, and a Jarl. I'm a Viking reenactor in my heart and soul, and so a Jarl is basically a warlord or a chieftain type deal. Or even a little bit higher than a chieftain. So a Jarl would have like a little bit of like a good section of land with a couple of settlements in there, and he would be under a king kind of thing. They also had a different word for king, but anyway, so now you know what a jarl is. So my jarl, first time I ever met the person, the actual man himself, was at a LARP, and we were hanging out in a tavern, and there's this man with a big bushy beard and jolly looking, just laughing, and his laughter filled the whole hall. Just not from how loud it was, but how much depth and volume it was. It was it was a good laugh. Anyway, so I see him, and he's this random stranger holding a lute, and he's singing and playing songs and asking people for requests and stuff like that. And then someone goes and pays him some in-game currency to go and make a diss song against someone. And so he followed them all the way through town for a good solid like hour and a half or something like that. I think it was actually the whole day. But like the guy started getting mad because this guy's like, "Man, you're not so smart." And so, like he was doing a very fantastic, like I can't give it any justice, but it was like he was dissing him left, right, and center, but in the most hilarious way. It was a good time to watch. The guy was like he really didn't want to see that, but or hear that, but yeah, that was the first time I ever met my Jarl Bully. And hello, whoever joins. Oh, hello. Hey, it's Raz. Well, actually, yeah, this is more just a sort of like a personal project in a sense, just a whim in a sense. I was working on that gunslinger hat, and I thought I need a black hat, but like a blinding white gunslinger poncho. Mainly because, you know, white to white. So, the joke is here I am, this gunslinger. All you can see is the hat, not even my eyes. And then I go, flash. And it's just all white. You're blinded. I shoot you. Game over. It's fashion with functionality. Who says cheating is not a thing? I'm not cheating. I'm just thinking ahead with my wardrobe. Now put me in a gunfight, and I'm done for. Blaring out white. Now, right now, we're doing 1.5-inch cuts with 3-inch fringe. We might be going up to about 4 to maybe 5. We'll see how it fits on my shoulders. I think there's a functionality where you can be able to go back in a video and then go back to live if anyone wants to see what it looks like on me while it's like this. It's very boxy. It's not very flattering. The fringe is definitely going to be very noticeable change to the cosmetics of it. If you guys like, I could also tell you a fight story if you really like. It was actually one of my favorite sort of like gives you PTSD kind of vibed fight. It was great time. I enjoyed it. It was a load of fun. So at LARP, and yet again for anyone that I see the oh, never mind. So I'm at LARP, and so here I am. There's this pillar kind of thing that we have to protect, and there's like let's say the pillar is right where the head center is, and this is all grass, beautiful, luscious grass. Well, the reason, like, so we had to fight, and the monolith was right here, and only one way to get at it. So we were defending it from one position, and it started raining after about 30 minutes of us fighting. Now we're holding the line, and these enemies just keep coming at us, and we're slaughtering them down. But these are just like small time kind of monsters. We're waiting for the big guys, and the whole point is, for some weird reason, I have no idea. Like, don't ask me the physics of it, but apparently these are cultists running up to this monolith to kill themselves in front of it to do something. I don't know. So we had to kill them before the monolith to make it not work? I don't know. They told me to hit stuff, so I did. Now, while the rain was happening, we kept fighting and fighting, and it started to become an hour and a half of fighting. And at this point, we're starting to run out of spells. We're starting to run out of just stamina alone. And we had one guy with a leg off, and the other guy had a leg off, and they were both holding each other while they were fighting. It was hilarious to see. It was two full-grown men just holding on to each other using both legs as one. And so here I am. Now you're probably wondering, where was I? Well, I wasn't the fighter this time. I was the frontline medic. So here I am picking up bodies from the front line to what we had, like a little medic station over here where we had like just a row of doctors kind of thing, just fixing up people. And I would just yeet bodies into the tent, and I'd go back and I'd grab a new person, and I'd bring them back, and I'd yeet them inside kind of thing. Now these doctors, oh man, it sure might be role playing, but these guys were having a hard time just because bodies were just dropping in kind of thing, and there was no end to it. And it's raining hard now. And that luscious grass that I was telling you about, well, it's not so luscious anymore. It's becoming a dirt pile at this point because of all the footwork that's happening there. And, we still keep fighting. Now, about 3 hours almost comes up. And finally, like both sides, the NPCs, which were the bad guys kind of thing, and the people just couldn't do it anymore. It was too much fighting kind of thing. And so they called a truce, but like it was a hard fight, and it was a good fight. All right, so we got a bunch of lines now. I might start cutting them too, just so that way we I can keep track of the lines; they don't get rubbed out. So the true test begins, and away we go. I'm gonna cut at the front and then start there. So when you're using pen on leather, It's very permanent, so I would not recommend it. But I don't give two craps on the inside, so whatever. But when you do, try and cut on the line, so that way it's in a way taking out the pen line as much as possible. Oh boy, these scissors need to be sharpened. Oh, I hope this all works out. Oh boy. But you gotta just trust the system. Trust the system. So this is what's called fringe right here. Is that little tiny cutoff pieces, and that's what we're going for. Now, fringe, besides just an aesthetic, actually had a functionality. We also got a comment. Let's see. Was that at Omen's event? No, actually, it wasn't at Omen's event for that combat event. That was at like a LARP for Underworld. So it was in a different kind of place, but it was a lot of fun, and I had a lot of fun at Omen's too. Don't get me wrong on that. But anyway, back at Fringe. So besides just looks, it also had functionality. So what it did was it beaded off the water that like rain and stuff like that. It would also act as like, how bulls they use their tails to whip back and forth on their bodies to get the fleas off. You can do the same thing with fringe. It was a great way to keep the bugs off you while you were doing your things, because naturally it was going back and forth. So it was slapping your body in the areas, bugs would try and land on you, kind of thing. So yeah, it had functionality and cosmetic looks. And hello to everyone that joined. Yeah, I think that's going to look good. That's already looking way better than block, right? I think so, at least. Let's keep going. The only way to find out is by doing it. Like, that's actually where most of my project ideas come from, is really just, I wonder if I could build that. And then I just do it because the science demands me to be able to test out if I could be able to build it. Or sometimes I just get an idea in my head and it just like comes at me out of nowhere. And it's like, wow, that's a fantastic idea. Good work, brain. And brain's like, thank you. Now, what I'm working with, for anyone that's wondering, for the leather, I am working with what's called deer tan. Deer tan is not deer. It is cow that is tanned like deer. So it folds and it moves around and it's soft, but it's also quite thick. I've actually made a few bags out of this. But, I did use quite a bit of leather using this. Let's see. It was 26 just for like the height, or not height, width. And then for height, it was, I think it was 48 or 38, one of the two. I like watching the number go from 1 to 2. And then, like, I hope one day that's going to go to 3. You can do it, little buddy. I believe in you. If we just keep doing this on a regular schedule, people will listen. If you guys got any questions or anything like that, feel free to comment below as well. Or anything that you want to say or anything like that, I don't mind. This is all just a hangout day. And if you guys want to stay quiet, that's totally okay to me too. Now, really important thing, actually, just like sewing, same for leatherworking, is try to use your leather scissors only for leather. If you're using your fabric scissors for fabric and stuff like that, same thing, you know, because what happens is it becomes dull in a sense, and it becomes fray when you're trying to cut, because it's actually not cutting, it's jamming. Any design or coloring you plan to do for this, or just having it all white? Well, I plan to actually add a few what is it called? It's not webbing, I don't believe, but I think it is. Because when I think of webbing, I think of like the full wraparound edged, but what is it called? I do have an idea. Let's see if I can be able to pull it up. These things are really handy. These are my hardware cases. Oh, look at all those roses. I love them. But Cullen, why do you have so many roses? It's because I keep buying them thinking that I only have one. Alrighty. Look at that. Isn't that nice? So maybe this one, or maybe this one. What about this one? We do have another gray, so we could do that one. Or I think it's the same one. Yeah. I do have two of the same, so yeah. And that's around the edging and stuff. Oh, hey, look at that. We got a red one. So yeah, I plan to sew those onto the poncho. And then I might do a few more other things, but really I need to be inspired, really. None of my projects are ever really planned. That's why most of my creations are one of a kind kind of thing, because it was just how I was feeling at the time, or, you know, what I was thinking at the time, or something like that, you know? Or needs, you know, like if I'm cold at winter, I'm gonna build myself a winter coat. With great power becomes awesome abilities. It's not how it goes, Colin. Might chop those ones down a little bit smaller again. Snip, snip, snip. I always feel bad for cutting into leather. Once you cut into it, that's pretty much it. You can sew it back up and all that, but, you know, there's always going to be that cut line. Just like battle, you can't take away the sword blow. Actually, Avatar did that, and I really, really appreciated that whole sword arc. The the Master Swordsman. I really appreciated that. And also that picture, yeah, like he says why exactly, but that picture metaphor where paint the sight that you've seen. You only had like 5 seconds to be able to see it, and then paint it, and it that allows you to be able to do not recall, but how to explain when you're fighting. It's better to have eyes on the back of your head, and it's easier when you know sort of where everything was placed beforehand. You know what's my favorite fighting food? And when you hear food, you think actual food. No, I mean the people that I like chopping. Is the archers. Freaking love it. They thinking they're hoity-toity from their distance. Well, wait until I get up in your face, there, boy. Then what? And then it becomes a sword fight again. We all know what happens. I might have not should have cut that one. That one sort of. I don't know. We'll see if it sticks out or not. Snip, snip, snip. So, is anyone else doing a craft or a project that they're working on? Or even goals? Goals are good. Look at that. You already see how it rolls a lot better too. So this is really stiff. This is moving around so much better. So that's why we do the fringe as well. It's in a way the leatherworks way of seaming things, or hemming things. So like you can hem things, but it's going to give it way more of a rigidity motion than flow. Goodbye, mouse. My controller mouse, not an actual mouse. Do you guys want me to talk about things like stories and stuff like that, or do you want me to sort of just work? Which that's totally okay too. I don't mind either or. Might talk from time to time for anyone that is rewatching this in the future. Hello, future dweller. I know I'm watching you right now. Fourth wall broken. It's obliterated right now. All right, we'll go back to our normal broadcast time. Hello, everyone. You know what's really interesting is that I made a video, and well, I made two or posted out two videos as of late, and one was how to dye leather, and one was how to apply finish. And weirdly enough, the applying finish is at like 55 views now, which is amazing. Never thought I'd get that high. But like my dying one, it's at like 14. It's so weird. Also, I might not talk all the time just because I'm just working kind of thing. This is just me on my Thursday nights kind of thing, and I thought, you know what? I'll invite people, see if anyone wants to tag along for the journey, and I appreciate everyone that does. I could tell you about one of my personas, one of my favorite ones. You can sort of hear it in the background already. He's sort of like a southern farmer called Topsoil. Oh man, amazing guy. You know, especially since I'm talking about myself. So Topsoil, he is a halfling farmer, and so his whole backstory is that a bunch of people or the army came by, took him from his family, and because they needed troops, and so they took Topsoil for his village's contribution. And then what happened was, well, Topsoil, he's more of a farmer. He wants to be a farmer. He wants a peaceful life, but that's because of the dark deeds that he has already done as his time in the military. Because he did his job, and he did his job really well, to the point where they didn't want him there anymore because it was making people look bad. He Topsoil's antics were getting a little bit up there, because every time there's a fight, I'm just a jolly person. I'm just like, oh yeah, there's gonna be fighting. Oh yeah, everyone else is like, we're gonna die. Someone's gonna die, or we gotta protect this person. I'm just like, we're gonna be whacking people. We're gonna be whacking monsters. I don't give two shits. They're all gonna die. And really great to have as your teammate, really bad to have as your enemy, kind of thing. So Topsoil, he uses what's called the reason why he's called Topsoil, because he holds a two-handed hammer that is like a battle hammer, but he uses it as his hoe. So it's like he like does his trench work with it, and people are always asking him. They're always like, "Well, that doesn't seem very functional. You know, it's not really going deep into the ground." And I'm like, "What's my name? It's topsoil. And what does my hammer affect?" And I hit the ground, and I'm like, "Just the topsoil." People lose their shit most of the time with this character. Like it's all serious. The king is sitting down. Everyone else is talking about, like, you know, some princess getting stolen and stuff like that. I'm just like, "Hey, king, if we get your girl back, we might get my farm going on then." And they're like, "Shut up, topsoil. Everything's not about your fucking farm." Everything is about the farm, my dear friend. What are you eating right now? Food. And guess where that food came from? A farm. And guess what the farm had? A farmer. Which, you need me. Topsoil. And they just like, they hate me, but they love me so much at the same time, because like they want to they want to just like smack me across the head, but like I'm just it's just too damn funny. Good times. So same thing for, since we're doing the bag, we have to do sort of that curve thing yet again. And like the curve, you gotta make it a shallow curve. That way it sort of bends already and you won't notice it as much. Because it's still like gravity is gonna be going down on it. Then afterwards, you can start going back to straight again. See, now we can start straightening out again. Have you guys played that new game, Helldivers? Oh boy, I feel like a kid in a candy factory. Like, my goodness. I haven't felt that much fun in so damn long. Like Borderlands 2 kind of long. It is a great game. If you're into shooting and stuff like that, you know. Like, you know, everyone has their preferences, so I won't say it's the best game, because I personally think that Mass Effect has that title. Sure, we don't talk about number 3's ending though, because everyone focuses on that. But number 2, that was golden game. Now, have many of you guys done the Renegade options though? I'm always a good guy when it comes to like games like that. I try to be bad, but then, like, you know, the farmer, you know, they don't get their food, and I'm like, oh no, what have I done? Become the very thing that I swore to destroy. My new empire. One day I should get a doggy cam, though. I think you guys would love to see a Shatsy. She's so a beautiful girl. Little husky. White and white with black. A little bit of gold in her. The reason why I bring her up is because she's just walking around here. seeing if I'm doing okay. And back to straight again. Look at that. Like, we could probably curve these out a little bit less. That looks pretty decent. And hello to everyone that has joined so far. I hope your guys' day is going well. I wonder if there's a way to be able to have like an auto, like just welcome. Now, this is something I should talk about. Is when doing straight lines, you should always have it aimed at yourself. As you saw, as I was getting further along, the lines weren't getting as straight as they could be. But then we'll finish up that and we'll do another cut, and then we'll go up there. And then pretty much we have most of it beginning fringe. So like if we want more, we'll cut up more. But like those these, like, we'll have to like sort of S shape them in a sense. All right, let's do some cutting. Let's turn this again so I can be able to see. But look at that. Look, it flows way nicer than the areas that isn't cut. direction. We're getting there. We're getting there. Bam. Look at that. We're almost there. Whoa, pissing off a bear. Take my hand and I'll swear. Whoa. Right? I'm pretty sure that's how the song goes. It's not living on a prayer. That must be the parody version. I'm pretty sure it's pissing off a bear. Pretty sure that's the words. I'm gonna put money down on that. All right, back to square one again. We there we go. So much work for beauty.
the big question to myself is if I can beat this within the hour and a half. Maybe I'll have the little small rule that my lives will stay about an hour and a half. That way, there's some consistency, and then people can be predicting, like, okay, I have this much time and stuff like that. That's just a thought. It also gives me a little bit of a break too. Like I'm sure I'm gonna be working and stuff like that, but I don't want to leave you guys in dead silence either. And I don't want to be nonstop talking either. I wish I had some of that lo-fi stuff. That would be great. I just don't know how that copyright stuff works. Just don't know. Well, I wonder if I did put like lo-fi on, would it be too loud? If not, too. Hey Google, play lo-fi music.
Got it. Check out this lo-fi music station on YouTube Music.
I can barely hear it. Hey Google, turn it up by 2. Okay, hopefully you guys can hear it. Hopefully. If not, someone can put it in the chat, and if not, if no one puts it in the chat, I'm just gonna assume that it's working. Just make an ASMR video out of all this cutting. Snip, snip, snip. All day long. Snip, snip, snip as I'm singing this song. Hey Google, turn it up by 1. Weirdly enough, I got the Google Nest for free. You know, Big Brother and all that. And I don't mean like, blood brother. I mean like, government. We want you to have a listening box. Here's one for free. So I took it and I threw it on the ground. And I took the rest of the handouts too. Yeah. So if anyone's asking, I sort of hold the leather with my middle finger and my ring finger, and this way I hold it, I pull it. Yes, you gotta sort of start it first, kind of thing. But once you sort of get it, that's how I get my cuts in. Because once it's flopping around, it's just not going to be able to cut really well. I feel like it's turning on me weirdly. Here. Hold on. Oh no, the mic. Mike oh man, I can't even say his name. Mike Lewowski. Oh man, I can't even say it. I am that kid meme. Mike Lewowski. All right, we got one left. One last line. Ah! We can do this. Make sure that's flat. We can do this. One line left. Bam! Oh! Alrighty. And we did it. Hour and 15, pretty much on the dime. That is amazing. I can show you guys, and I'll finish up this stream. Thanks all for joining me, and let's do the final take of what it looks like. At least with the 3-inch fringe. Oh, thanks. And thanks for staying with me. Oh, and we're going to be upside down, so we fix that.
I'm sorry. I'm trying. I got like this little phone holder that Buyer Dave got me. Amazing little tool. I'm not complaining about it. I just got a square little rectangle for a camera. Look at that. See what I mean? It looks way nicer than when it was just a square. And then we'll go a little higher. See, out it. See, with the hat, it sort of matches all together. It's not level, but yeah. Anyway, so yeah, it's like ready, blam. That's the idea. So yeah, some of that little trim kind of stuff's gonna go around there. It's probably gonna go. I'll probably go a little deeper with the lines, and then that's when it will have the braid stuff that I was showing you, kind of thing. So yeah. Well, thank you all for joining me, and I hope that you have a great rest of your night. And thank you all for joining me. Retrieved my mouse. All right. Have a great night, everyone.